Have you heard about AB 1771? It's billed as the anti-flipper home bill, but is it really? It's supposed to discourage speculative investors by imposing a heavy tax. The investors who are gobbling up all the housing inventory with cash offers. AB 1771 will impose a 25% capital gains tax, and that tax happens if you sell a property within the first 3 years of ownership. By the way, this is going to be on top of all of the other taxes that are associated with the property sale. The idea is that it will somehow give traditional homeowners an edge in securing a home, with the goal of stabilizing home prices for all. The way it is drafted right now, though, homeowners and first-time buyers aren't really protected. Fortunately, I have done some homework, and here is what's going on. Many groups, including the California Association of Realtors, oppose this bill. The way that they see it, the legislation will tax homeownership up to 25%. It attacks private property rights by imposing taxes on the gain from selling a home or another type of property, diminishing California's wealth opportunities while freezing your freedom to move and our state's housing supply. There are real concerns. It does not help first-time home buyers in this crazy market that we're facing. There is nothing in the bill that stops large equity companies from coming in, just like they have been doing, feverishly buying up properties with cash. BlackRock, anybody? They have the funds to ride out the required 7 years of ownership to avoid any of the bill's tax penalties. All they have to do is rent out the property for that time span. Assemblymember Christopher Ward, who drafted this bill, is just fine with that. He is good with more rental properties on the market. The representative for the state's governing affairs directors for realtors said that Assemblymember Ward has already had this discussion with their group. She even mentioned that many of these properties that these large equity companies buy will not be subject to the statewide rent control law of AB 1482. So this bill does not stop speculative cash buyers. And in fact, it does just the opposite of what it was set out to do. Instead of increasing the supply of housing and extending affordability, it's going to reduce inventory as the cash buyers switch over from a flipping mode to a long-term hold mode. This increases the housing demand because more and more of the housing supply will transfer into the rental market, and that means higher prices. The most recent draft added an exemption to the tax. It carves out homeowners who claim a homeowner exemption on their taxes, along with a carve-out for first-time home buyers. Good news, right? Well, experts on the review committees and in some of the other groups express concerns. There is not enough supportive language in this bill for these two types of homeowners. Not enough that the committee members feel that these two groups are fully protected. What if you are not a first-time owner or somehow you don't have that homeowner's exemption? What if you inherited a property or received it with the transfer of title somehow? Well, the current draft measure has you and that property subject to the tax. So this isn't just for speculative investors. Homeowners who sell their property are subject to the tax of up to 25% as well. By the way, it's actually reduced on a downward sliding scale the longer that you own it. After 7 years, there is no penalty for the sale. The longer you own, the less the tax penalty is. Sounds wonderful till you realize folks are actually locked into holding every property for 7 years to avoid this tax. You're probably like me, wondering, how is the state going to spend the new revenue if this passes? Well, they're going to create a speculation recapture community reinvestment fund. That all is a big mouthful. Okay, so 30% goes to counties to use and create affordable housing. There is no explanation beyond that. That is the only mention of housing with their newly created revenue stream. The rest reads 20% goes to school districts for general purposes, 40% goes to cities or counties that the qualified asset is located in, and this is to be used for general infrastructure, also transit or active transportation projects or community facilities. And of course, there's an additional 10% that goes to the franchise tax board for administration fees. Am I missing something here? 30% goes to affordable housing, and the rest is what? A slush fund for legislation. And of that 30%, there is no true accountability of how it's going to be spent on the affordable housing. You know, the state of California has a $45.7 billion surplus this year. This is where we all need to step in. Go down to the description part of this video. There you're going to find some links. The first one is to the author of the bill, Assemblymember Chris Ward's website. You can read his intentions of what he set out to do, then give him a call. His number is 619-645-3090. Let him know your concerns. You can also find a link for a copy of this bill at California's legislative information site. Read the bill and the revisions for yourself. There are links to contact your local assembly person and your senator. Type in your address and you can get connected quickly with them. Send them an email, let them know that you're concerned. And the last thing that you can do is forward this video to your friends and family. Hey, send it to everyone you know who has a property in California or has a dream of home ownership here in California, because at the rate that we are going, that opportunity is going to be dwindling for the next generation. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Lynnor Anderson, one half of a father-daughter realtor team here in San Diego. We've lived in San Diego for most of my life. I'm concerned about California. I hope you are too. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us too. Take care.